songs without telling a little bit about my background in general, because for me it's direct direct way what brought me from my childhood to Yiddish music. I was born in deep Soviet period, and as almost every Jewish child, I got a chance to get music education, and then all the levels like music school, music college, academy of music, and never anything like composing, creating was not in my life because I was playing piano and accompanying violin players. My mother is violin player. But we had this subject. I don't know how it's on the other side of the world. Subject what calls harmony, like music theory and harmony. And that was the beginning of creating, but for everyone. More or less, somebody with ears, somebody without ears could write the melody to the harmonies, what was given by teacher. And I remember clear that some teacher whom I had were telling me, so you have taste of the melody. Very nice melodies. But I was thinking it's only a compliment because of some good issues for this. Their, how to say, what they wanted from me. Years after, when we met with FEMA and already got to work as a teachers in Vienna at workshop, let's say 16 bars of melody in a Jewish way came from my mind and was written by hand. And I still remember this melody. We call it Hofberg Hosidl. Hofberg, because the place was Hofberg, somewhere in the mountains. After maybe 10 years later, something else, but nothing serious. And only because of our dear Adrian Cooper, the first song appeared in the world. We all got news Adrian is ill, and I was so impressed. FEMA was sending me some poems in Yiddish with Latinic letters. And one phrase I remember clear, I tried to imagine how would Adrian sing it. You maybe all know this song, A Guten Tag der Yiddish. So I exactly imagined how Adrian will sing the first phrase. A guten Tag, a guten Tag. This word, a guten, I heard in my ears. The rest came itself. And it was the first song was composed. And then huge pause because no impulse. Fima was sitting in the chair next to me in the same room and sending from his email to my email poems by different Moldavian poets and not only Moldavian, with his comment, maybe you hear you can write something. Nothing worked. Nothing worked. Until the moment there came a poem, and I said, this is kind of Moldavian impulse. It's closer to me. So appeared a few songs, one of them with real Moldavian influence, another one kind of Moldavian influence, but still everything on a Moldavian theme. Theme, more correct. I have to mark, I don't speak Yiddish. I don't read Yiddish. I don't know the language. And this is the most difficult part, to create songs in Yiddish. Because poor Fima, I was bombing him in each syllable, each comma. What is the main, what you can just pass. And of course, all the songs were composed to the one and only for Fima. I should hear what the way of the melody he loves to sing. As all singers have their ego to show their beauties, I should create the melody with some notes what will show this beauty. There are so many details what I should think about, and every song was a stress for me. Will Fima sing it or not? And for today, there are on the left side from me songs what Fima is singing. On the right, what are still waiting for singer and never sang. But there is a hope. Another impulse to create songs was topic in Weimar in 2013. Please bring your own songs, composing songs. 2 months before, we were sitting next to each other and writing songs. And it also brought some songs who exist, and some of students in Weimar already asked, can I sing it? I said, of course, yes. And I have to admit, I'm not a composer. And because of difficulties with language, I know I have no rights to write a melody but doesn't connect to the text. And it means I always have to ask Fima. But Fima has his own taste. And it's not obligate to be in parallel with my way. So there are many things. During pandemic time, the best period for composing and creating something, because you are not allowed to leave apartment, so just concentrate on something what you can do. And the competition in Brazil brought an idea to create a song about Brazil. The black side of our days today, the war, and our neighbors, Ukraine, also brought a song. Fima wrote lyrics I wrote melody. So I would say about my songs, they are because of what, of something, not as impulse from me. And I want to tell about one song. The history of writing is interesting enough. One poem Fima was sending me every 2 years to my email. 5 times during 10 years. It was a poem for a Weiser Warsche by Aaron Zeitlin. And I couldn't do anything. What helped me? I wrote the melody, what was introduction, piano introduction. And then I edit the melody as a song. The poem itself is about Varsha, about Chopin, about black piano, and so on. So it's so much connected to my profession as a classical musician. Mm-hmm. So the introduction was stylistically kind of Chopin and simple melody, but really fit to the lyrics were together with this instrumental intro. And I love this song probably the most because it took 10 years, just no impossible, no impossible. And then it really came and we have it. I'm jumping. Let me see if there is something what. Okay, here is another one, what I really love too. Fima wrote 8 lines of poem. And I told him, I hear the melody as a nigun. So now I have to write A, B, C sections. And I pressed him to write more lyrics for A section, for B section, and for C section. And we have a song what calls Von Gornit nimmt sich Gornit. It's the first, and so far it's the one song written, composed in a nigun style. If you have questions, please ask me.
I was wondering if you would sing or play us, or both, some of the songs you've been talking about, starting with Folksong.
You know, my diapason is 5 notes because I'm a heavy smoker. 5 notes, maybe already 4.
It depends which notes.
Hey, sure.
But could you play us on the piano? Could you over to the
I
piano?
was not prepared for that. I was not prepared for that because we didn't discuss about. If you don't mind, I can try to ask Fima just to sing a cappella. If not, no. Can I try?
Try.
I'd like that. We could actually hear some of this.
Fima? He doesn't hear me. Fima? Can you help us? We need your help to sing some melodies. without accompaniment because I'm not prepared. No, 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 from a side. Just take my headphones.
Hello.
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 Listen. No video, only audio. Listen, and yeah. Und gar nicht nimmt sich gar nicht, und damit nimmt sich heimig, und will sich nimmt sich tor nicht, und ledig nimmt sich ledig, und Nemes nimmt sich liegen, und Ponim nimmt sich Schmeichel, und Bräugis nimmt sich kriegen, von Elfer nimmt sich Schmeichel, von Rischkes nimmt sich Fischel, von Backen nimmt sich Knischel, von Leinen nimmt sich Bichel, von Tanzen nimmt sich Tichel, von Blotten nimmt sich Jabes, von Borwes nimmt sich Skrabes, von Seides nimmt sich Babes, von Lichtlich nimmt sich Schabes, von Teller nimmt sich Teppel, von Achseln nimmt sich Keppel, von Klezmer nimmt sich Klechsen, und Nacht ist 16. Von Arbeit nimmt sich Groschen, von Läuses nimmt sich Loschen, und unser schöne Loschen ist Acke Mame Loschen. Von Reges nimmt sich Jorn, und Jorn kommt sich Korn, und Regen nimmt sich Wasser, von Boden nimmt sich Nasser, von Rischkes, and so on. Wait a second. I'm not hero of the day. Wait a second.
Wow.
Tight voice. Say tight voice.
This is
That's
from
great.
Gornet.
This is famous text?
Famous text.
Yeah,
Famous text.
melody.
Great.
Yeah. And a nice melody, a great melody, so traditional.
Yeah, I also like this combination from me. Another example of Ima, can you sing?
What?
No, 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 no. Mm-hmm.
Wanna sit down?
I'll help you. Take a seat. Here is another song what has Moldavian influence.
Only audio, not prepared for video. Ha ha ha. Oh, only Michael is here? Oh no. I mean, the first. Pflanzt mein Schwester Lagorten, ja bye, ja bye. Bliehen schöne Dorten, ja bye, ja bye. Als wenn wir wieder werden, in meinem Leben mein Schweren, ja bye, ja bye. Garten kommen, die schöne Blumen, ja bye, ja bye. Grob mein Schwester Labunem, ja bye, ja bye. Keines Wasser in die Sonne, ja bye, ja bye. Als wenn wir bitter werden, in Lieben schweren, ja bye. Lauffahren sinken, und frische Wasser trinken, ja bye, ja bye. Nicht mein Schwester Lakischen, ja bye, ja bye. Hoch wie weite Jens gerissen, ja bye, ja bye. Als wenn wir wieder werden, in Lieben schweren, ja bye, ja bye. Kischenli, Kischen liegen, wir sind tot, mir verwiegen. Ja, bye, ja, bye.
Beautiful.
Very beautiful, very beautiful. Why do you say it has a Moldovan influence?
I can tell you, the author is Manilab, and the poem itself has text, and instead of Yabababai, it has Moldavian off, 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 off. I asked permission by FEMA, can I change to Yiddish Yabababai? He said, feel free. And the melody has Moldavian because of these ways of melody. No, 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 and so on. It definitely has Moldavian because and Moldavian and Yiddish music, they are very close to each other.
Mm. There were other songs you mentioned.
With the Moldavian.
Or I mean, whatever.
No,
whatever.
in other songs, yeah. If you are talking about Brazilian song, it's still somewhere in archive in YouTube. This competition, and another song during pandemic time, Das Buttonlied. We never had a chance to perform it on stage.
Huh.
But it needs piano. I was not ready. Sorry. It needs piano. It's I don't know why, but the most rhythm what comes from me is a horror rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot avoid it.
Can you
You
sing
can,
us
you,
or give us an example of that?
Fima is ready to sing Das Buttonlied.
Okay, beautiful.
Fima? Yeah. Take your glasses.
Have it?
I have
Magic.
2 pages. Mm. Mm.
Hoi, hier toe. I'm sorry. Hoi, hier toe, wie euch gefällt. Hoi, hier toe, Relie. Sagt der Batzen und stellt vor die Kapelle. Treukles Moor in seinen See, a Fleit, a Poik, a Fiedel. Zu der Chuppe vieren See, a Jidl mit a Fiedel. Tarjariam, tarjariam, tirididai, tirididam, tirididam, tirididai. Tarjariam, tarjariam, tirididai, tirididam, tirididai. Sis das Lied du sehr, sis das Lied du sehr alt, noch wird nicht gar nicht niemals. Na Freit von dem es schmalt, a süße wie a Zimmes. Sis der Weg heim nicht weit, aber heut geboten. Wie vor im Krieg mit Zeit zu dem Regenbogen. Tarjariam, tiriram, tiriridai, tiririam, tiririam, tiriridai, tiriram, tiririam, tiriridai, tiriridai, tiriridai. Le Klezmer spielt das Lied a bissel Giche, Eise, zu der Huber geht bis zum Thron a Kaiser.
Sheikh.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wow.
This is the song.
So, do you think of the songs as being in an older style, or do you think that this is a newer style?
Thank you for your question. Working with all archives, I think it's more closer to old style.
Which archives do you work with? Yeah.
FEMA is working with archives already 2 years, doing our weekly workshops. He's searching in all archives he can find and transcribing.
Like, what are some of the archives? Which ones?
Oh, I cannot answer because my work is to write down in Sibelius program
Mhm.
and to write lyrics. Very useful training for me because sometimes I know how to make syllables, how to deal with the words on different bars, let's say, different lines. And sometimes I'm correcting him because he's making mistake. I already know. FEMA, strange. I remember this word from another song.
Mhm.
I learn by ear. I learn Yiddish by ear. There is one song.
Susan.
Yeah.
Question. When you work with the archive, are you listening to the report to a recording, or are you looking at a transcription?
FEMA is working with archives. FEMA is listening to the recordings, unaccompanied songs, or some songs what already with accompaniment, and transcribing them.
And when you work with that material, are you also hearing the recordings?
Sometimes I can explain you why. I can explain you why. Because sometimes when he's giving me his, let's say, diary was written by hand, something is strange for me with the rhythm, and I want to hear for my own. And very often, FEMA is asking me if I like the melody he wants to prepare for workshop or no. He's always asking, what do you think? And not so rare when I say, it's the same we had 3 weeks ago. Same direction, same structure of the melody. Let's look for something else. But this is, of course, specific of our workshop. We want to bring them something not philosophic, but let's say easy talk, and involve them to sing songs and to work on the text. I'm talking about our students. Of course, it's a heritage, what is an archive. And I would love one day to write all the material they have to write down. We have already this beautiful Ruth Rubin archive published as a book, but there are, I think, 10 other books waiting in the row to be transcribed.
Do you think there is a Yiddish song structure? Because you were saying about song structure that are song structure that's more typical for Yiddish songs.
I never thought about, but I'm trying. It's interesting. I'm trying to avoid, let's say, Soviet style.
Oh.
what I was born in. It's definitely not my, shouldn't be that. And somehow, being more than 30 years in this culture, what is Yiddish music, I already can recognize what is what. I think so. I still learn. I'm still studying.
But say even compared to Moldavian song, you can tell a Yiddish song.
I would say if I hear somebody singing, I would say this is Moldavian and this is not Moldavian because ornaments. It's definitely the other way how they do it. I would never get to it. It's a high art how little Moldavian kids are doing their songs in very deep folk style. It's beauty of our country.
So it's it's in the ornaments. Is it in the melody, the type of the melody? You know, how you put the melody together. You know.
If you're talking about my melodies,
Yeah,
there are no Moldavian ornaments. No, no. But there are ways of the melodies what reminds me local Moldavian music. The song Mama Ligia, but it has no ornaments. Do you want to hear another Moldavian?
sure.
Yeah.
Please.
I don't need.
Okay.
Mama liege, esst men una Messer, und hab Tag Gläserle von die alte Fässer. Mama liege, oi, die Paare Hoden. Mama liege, schneit men mit a Kodem. Ai, tiri-ri-ri-rai, tiri-ri-ri-ri-dai, ai, tiri-ri-ri-rai, tiri-ri-ri-ri-dai, ai, tiri-ri-ri-rai, tiri-ri-ri-ri-dai, ai, tiri-ri-ri-dai, tiri-ri-ri-ri-dai, oi, Mama liege, ei, c'est una teller, la gemir, ob keln in keller, Mama liege, oi, die Paare Hoden, Mama liege, esst men mit a Fodem, ai, tiri-ri-ri-rai, da tiri-ri-ri-dai, ai, tiri-ri-ri-ri-da, tari-ri-ri-dai, ai, tiri-ri-ri-rai, da tara-ri-ri-dai, ai, tiri-ri-ri-dai, da tiri-ri-ri-dai, change mir a dudel, a pfeifele mein Chaver, wer ich hab dem Wein, a lieber a Moldaver, oi do, wo, 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 und Thomas tut noch Pips, and Clive, ich kin mal do. I did it, 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 so Mama liege, erst mal in Messe, und habt Tag Gläserle von die alte Fässer. Mama liege, erst mal in Messe, und hab Tag Gläserle von die alte Fässer. There is a melody, like instrumental piece. Also, like I'm not a pianist. The piano is far away, 5 meters from me. So, but that's fine. That's enough. Sorry.
Great.
Thank you, Fima.
So it's bilingual, right? And kind of bicultural, right?
but it's not macaronic.
Right.
Definitely not macaronic.
Right. Right.
There are two words. What was in the poem,
Uh-huh.
for sure, in the poem, of course. We didn't change any word.
Who wrote the poem? Yeah.
Mama Lydia.
It's
Shikidris and Yefim Chorny.
the last verse.
The last verse,
Uh-huh.
Sing it now.
well, he didn't sing it. He's saying,
Right.
but Shikidris.
Okay. Okay. Right. Zeb, you were saying something? Oh, here's Itzik.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a lovely song, and the rhythmic structure is only Moldavian, and it never appears in Yiddish. Not it's instrumentally based. It doesn't appear in Yiddish song, unless a reflex of Moldavian song. But again, when you do research with a few Moldavian and Wallachian written sources, this comes in the later 19th century when the city people began to accept the music of Moldavian country people. In the earlier sources, this would never have been allowed because it's too much like the music of shepherds and peasants. So when, after Moldova becomes independent from the Turks, then there's a movement to nationalize the national movement, and then this kind of rhythm of this kind of hora or jok appears. But when I've worked with a few early sources from the first half of 19th century, no way. What they have is based on Greek and Turkish music. And in Yash, you had to speak Greek to get anywhere. In Yash or in Bucharest, it was a Greek colony up until middle of 19th century. That's something Moldavians like to forget. But just 10 years ago, when I was in Bucharest, I finally picked up a book written in Greek and in Romanian called Bucharest Grecesc, Greek Bucharest, reminding the folks of the time when you had to speak Greek to do anything in those cities. Anyway, just a footnote.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, there is.
We've been talking lately about the connection between the Moldavian elements and the Jewish elements in Susanna and Efim's pieces.
Oh, by the way, I should mention that I published an article in Bucharest last year where I'm trying to show that in some of the early Moldavian sources, you see a klezmer influence already in the beginning of the 19th century.
Yeah. Really?
And the klezmorim were very influential musicians. Even in the 18th century, they were playing at the courts of the Greek governors in Moldova.
Mm.
So, there was a Greek-Jewish connection that bypassed the Moldavians for generations. Then eventually the Moldavians were allowed to participate too.
Oh.
Okay, so again, I'm very pleased that finally the Romanians are open to this kind of argument. When I first went to Bucharest, there's no way they would publish something like that. But now, yeah, it's part of the discussion.
Susanna, if we could come back to even to the first song you mentioned, the Guten Tag der Yiddish, and maybe sing. I know you could sing a bit of this for sure.
No, ask Fima because Fima. No. I couldn't talk the Yiddish.
And this is your melody, right?
It's my melody.
Yeah.
And Meir Harat's
Right.
poem.
Mhm.
A guten Tag, a guten Tag, a guten Tag, dir Yiddish. A gute Nacht, a gute Nacht, a gute Nacht, dir Sprach. A guten Shabbos, a guten Shabbos, a guten Shabbos, Kiddish. A guten Yontif, a guten Yontif, a guten Yontif, Pracht. A guten Shabbos, a guten Shabbos, a guten Shabbos, Kiddish. A guten Yontif, a guten Yontif, a guten Yontif, Pracht. a guten Tomit, a guten Tomit, a guten Tomit, Brüder, und seid gesund, und seid gesund, und seid gesund, mir Freund. Und seid gesegnet, und seid gesegnet, und seid gesegnet, Lieder, geschriebene, 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 seid, und seid gesegnet, seid gesegnet, seid gesegnet, Lieder, geschriebene, 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 wie seid. A guten Tag, a guten Tag, a guten Tag, der Jiddisch, a gute Nacht, a gute Nacht, a gute Nacht, die Sprach, a guten Schabes, a guten Schabes, a guten Schabes, Kiddisch, a guten Jontef, a guten Jontef, a guten Jontef, Brach.
Geach. Geach, both of you.
Thank you, Fimo.
Susanna, what do you feel that melody says, or where does that melody come from in you and or Yiddish song, or what can you talk about the melody some?
About this melody, it's
Mhm.
important. It's the first melody in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said at the beginning, I heard in my mind only first two bars as Adrian will sing it. The style, how she will sing. The rest of the melody, I really didn't care about, because today I hear it's a so-called classical melody. Even influence from Soviet Union, I would say, from a song. But I like it because many emotions around this song, and it's like your baby, first baby. Ethel, something came up in parallel. Something came up in parallel to this melody. I heard your voice.
I was just thinking of my first melody. It was so different.
What was your first melody? I mean,
It was Woody Guthrie's last will and testament.
Oh, yes, right. Well, I mean, you could sing it while we're here, might as well have some music. But yes, I recorded this from you a few years ago, and I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
Wait, it was Joe Hill's last will and testament, right?
What did I say?
You said Woody Guthrie.
Woody Guthrie.
Oh, sorry, it was Joe Hill, of course.
I was gonna, right.
Interesting slip.
No, I thought you were saying it was Woody Guthrie's melody, but I knew it was yours.
No. Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Joe Hill's last will. I thought I said Joe Hill. Did I not say Joe Hill?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Now we have Joe, right?
Yep.
It's interesting, Susanna, because I hear that melody not only as classical. I know what you mean when you say that, and I know what you mean about some of the Soviet kind of official song aspects. On the other hand, I also hear it as there's something very much of the kind of major key, more Western tunes of like Nigunim and Zmiris in the Yiddish repertoire too. That's one reason I was drawn to it.
I was taught, but that the most beautiful songs in Yiddish are in minor. And I'm trying. even happy songs to write in minor. Another question for me, the key, what melody is written in. I do care about the key. And I hate when the singer says, I'm not comfortable in, because then it's not mine and it doesn't sound as mine if you change the key. I do care.
You must have perfect pitch then, Susanna.
I have this destiny.
Yeah.
I have this destiny.
Yeah.
It was very useful during my study time when I was a child, and the rest of life, it's horrible.
Hard.
It doesn't help. It doesn't help at all. In some ways, it helps, but most it's very difficult. I have another one song, what we cannot even present, even with piano or without piano, because I composed the melody. And it's already 1 year old. Have no idea what should be as accompaniment. François Vignon.
I see.
Yeah, translated from François Vignon.
François Villon.
Villon. And the melody came during cleaning something in apartment, and I immediately wrote down. And Fima said, I will sing it, but no accompaniment, because it's not what is normal for me. Let's say it's another style. It's absolutely another. Every note was like mathematic. Should it go half a tone up or down, following the lyrics? And this is why it's so difficult to find the way how to accompany. I'm still working in my mind.
Can Fima sing it for us?
No, he cannot.
A cappella?
He never worked on this song. Do you have it somewhere? I even didn't collect next to me, because I knew before our meeting that I'm allowed only to tell and that story too. It's still on a way. It's still on the way. It was composed during pandemic time, no musicians around. I know whom I definitely want to be as instrumental player inside, and you all know this cello player Yulia, originally from Moscow, but now already 1 year Israeli one. They moved to Israel, and it's easier and more difficult to meet with her now. But I need Yulia. She's brilliant musician.
Sounds wonderful.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yep.
Susanna, I have a question.
Yes.
You talked about writing in a minor key because you've been told that this is appropriate for Yiddish songs. How have your associations with minor key changed since you became so involved with Yiddish songs? Because, in classical music, we have many minor key melodies. Chopin. I mean, but how is it different in the Yiddish realm?
Thank you for your beautiful question. Of course, when I came from I'm still classical musician. I'm working in music school 40 years as accompanist to violin players. So I'm dealing every day with both minor in Yiddish music and minor at music school. It's like half season. They don't disturb each other, but it's so helpful when I started to be involved in klezmer world, because now I feel classical music differently. My ears opened more because of working in a folk music, and I have to admit it. And minor, for example, the brilliant Beethoven Concerto Number 3, C minor, the most beautiful music I know. Minor, for example, Vivaldi, his concertos mostly in minor. Is there something more bright?
His majors.
Major in a Batkin song.
His majors.
Yeah, his
Vivaldi's.
Yes, yes. Yes, you just remind me about G major concerto, what I'm playing right now with my pupil.
Yeah.
But it's interesting what you say. Could you tell us a little bit more about how working with the folk music, the klezmer music, has changed the way you hear minor key music in classical?
It's in general changed my ears. In general, minor, what we were taught at music school, when they wanted to explain us, minor is sad with tears. And when I came to Jewish music, no tears at all, happiness. But as I was taught that Jews were smiling and laughing even during the war. They were not sad inside themselves, Jews, I mean. So for me, it also a little mark that minor can be happy.
Can you give us an example of a
Happy
Jewish
minor.
minor that's happy in your ear?
In klezmer music.
Yeah.
In your sound world.
Very simple, very simple. Please forgive me. I never pronounce it, but now I must. Tumbalalaika. Tumbalalaika. No, Havanagila is not klezmer. Tumbalalaika, for example. Fima says, Dimizinki oizgigeben.
Yeah. Yeah, that was in my mind.
Mm.
And many, many, many others. Many others. I'm not surprised when Fima is giving me the paper. It's minor, and I'm asking what is the song about. Hupe. And so on.
And a similar question, I guess, music that is in a Fragish mode. How did that strike your ear coming from a classical?
Thank you. That took a while because I'm a pianist, and violin and clarinet players I should accompany to. I always wanted to go to the harmony what doesn't belong too. Today, I cannot understand how I could not hear like it has to be. But at the beginning, it was very, very difficult. I want this chord. No, you are wrong. Today, I know all nigunim FEMA is doing every week for our students, 2 nigunim, and I must to put harmonies. I don't need piano. It's inside me already. Easily, I can put all the functions and then play like I do it all my life. And this is all about training, train ears and listening. You can hear and you can listen what you want from yourself, to hear or to listen. It's important.
Susanna, do the students sing the nigunim in 2 parts, melody and a harmony?
No, some I have to accompany to FEMA at our workshops. I have to accompany on piano.
You do the harmony, but they're singing unison melody. Okay.
Yes, some of them after workshop are mailing, please, can you resend with harmonies? We want to play.
Right.
Yeah. We have it.
I thought the idea of a harmony line to a nigun would be interesting. All of a sudden I got excited.
we are trying to give them only the melody.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are nigunim with 2 voices. Of course, we write down 2 voices too, but mostly 1 voice.
Sure.
Just to bring the energy from nigun and to explain what is what, and so on.
Yeah.
I never thought I would love to work with nigunim.
So beautiful.
It's more than beautiful.
Mm.
There are no twins. They are all different.
Yeah.
Why do you want to add the harmony?
Because I have to accompany to FEMA when he's presenting nigun on our workshop, let's say. I have to play on the piano to accompany him.
Why?
And also to bring energy, as I think, to bring energy from my accompaniment. Because, sorry, I have to say it, singers, clarinet players, violin players are 1-line musicians. Only 1 line. They don't hear the harmonies, mostly. Most of them, they don't hear harmonies until some accordion or piano player will come and to show and discover for them what is hold the music. They are trained on a different way. 1 line, the melody. They have to improvise to understand what might be behind. This like scientific job.
What kind of energy do you think the accompaniment adds to the niggins?
Depends of the melody.
Oh.
Depends of the melody. Some of them are in Hosidl style. Some of them are in Gasnign style. Some of them are definitely, let's say, Freilich style, and very rare in the horror style. And what I love from Mozart's nigunim, they're all like valses. I love them.
That makes it easier to add harmony. If it's in a waltz style, it's easier to add the harmony.
It's easy, but it has to connect in a Jewish style.
So what makes the accompaniment Jewish?
No 1, 2, 3. To ignore 1, 2, 3. The places where it needs 1, 2, 3, it will be. But mostly I prefer 1. Like say 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, kind of. But of course to avoid waltz style. But I mean the melodies are beautiful in the waltz style. The melodies.
Interesting.
It's really interesting. Every week we have fun.
Do you do it in person, Susanna, or online?
Via Zoom.
Zoom.
Via Zoom. Already 2 years via Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nice.
where are the students? Yeah.
How many join?
Depends how many students we have. Now, because pandemic, again, a little bit up, we have more. When pandemic was down, some of them started to visit concerts. But in general, it's all around 15, 20.
Wow, fabulous.
15, 20.
An age group?
Age group from about around 40 unlimited.
Oh, from 40 up. Okay.
Yeah. Unlimited.
Where are they living? Where are the people from?
Around the world.
Really? Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. We have many of them from United States. We have from Russia. We have from Ukraine. We have from Germany, from Poland, France, and so on, so on, so on.
Very nice.
Even from Ukraine. And sometimes we hear the sound. They have to run.
Yeah.
We don't stop. This is our life. Their life, let's say.
Terrible. Yeah.
They have to run. Like Israel. But they're coming every Sunday. They're coming. And not all of them are Jews. And they're still coming. It's coming.
Do we have other thoughts or ideas? Or it's a very interesting discussion. We have to thank you for it. I know it's not easy preparing and collecting and thinking about this. So we're very grateful to you for taking the time and the energy to think about this.
Absolutely. It would be wonderful to do this, hearing your accompaniments and your
but not today.
Imagination. Next time.
Next time, I promise.
Okay,
Next
and
time
that would
I promise.
be great to do in person. I mean, the whole idea of someone who sings solo, it so depends on their soundscape, which harmonies, if any, they hear, and which melodies are so no harmony comes in, even if their soundscape, so to speak, is filled with harmonies due to the music and everything around them. It's really interesting. And the idea of the right chord or the wrong chord has so much to do with what your soundscape is.
For example, when Fima is writing melodies, he has tons of written melodies. And I am the person who has to say. And mostly, I'm trying to be delicate. And Fima, you had it already. Sometimes I give him the question, Fima, when you're writing the melody, do you hear harmonies in your ears? Always the answer, no, I don't care.
Wow. Interesting.
what means it's your job after.
It's giving you your work's assignment.
That's a great.
In many ways, believe me.
Yeah.
It's a great partnership. It's unusual, right?
Yeah. Wonderful. Great. Thank
This
you.
is what makes people stronger.
Right. Yeah, working together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody else is enriched by it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. There are many songs where famous lyrics and Susan's music.
Yeah.
Right.
Fima, without
Allerlei
playing,
weiter.
Fima wants to show Dorem, Oasis Dorem America. Fima wants to show the song. Yeah, Fima wrote the lyrics and Susan wrote the music. And the song was a winner and festival in Brazil.
Ah. I remember that song.
Oh, so that's on YouTube, right? Yeah.
That's on their
Yeah.
website.
זה sehr weit in Argentina, wohnt mein teure Cousine, sie Spanisch und Ladino, und ich spiel mit ihr ein Spiel, wenn zum Beispiel sag ich Macho, und sie empfährt bald Carpaccio, sie ist eine freiliche Kartine, spielen im Gramen non a Ziel, und Tomer wird sie sagen Samba, will ich entfernen Caramba, fragt mir was das heißt Caramba, ist es Posche, a Gewalt, plötzlich sagt sie mir auf Jiddisch, Tage ist ach Jiddisch, nach dem Schabes dicken Kiddisch, singen mir es jung und alt. Oises Dorem Amerike, da spielt Klarnett und Fiedel mit a Gefühl. Sie ist a Meise, a Freiliche, soll Freiler sein von Argentina bis Brasil. Oises Dorem Amerike, da spielt sie mit a Herz und mit a Trill. Sie ist a Meise, a Freiliche, soll Freiler sein in Argentina und Brasil. Und die Brasiler spielen euch a solche Spielen und sie gragen wie die Grillen, sie ist ein nemesser Talent von Brasil und Argentina bis die goldene Medine, jeder Platz kennt seine Biene, Tomer bist a Musikant. Mädel, Dreidel, Ingel, Zingel, stelle jüdische Kapelle und die freiliche Kapelle spielt, als zittern die Wind, ist a prächtige Kartine, von Brasil bis Argentina, Jiddisch, Spanisch und Ladino, es ist historischer Moment. Es ist Dorem America, and so on, sorry, too long song. Yeah.
Great collaboration.
Right.
Great
Yeah.
collaboration.
Yeah, yeah.
Fabulous.
Great song.
Susanna.
Great song.
So here we are.
Wonderful collaboration.
So thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to have a chance to talk with you together like this.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm honored to be invited in such a community what you are.
And we hope
It's
to
our
be
pleasure.
all together in one room sometime, right?
Yeah.
The dream about it's possible.
Yeah.
Allerlei. Allerlei.
Alavai. Okay, so good Yontov, and thanks again. It's a
Thank
great
you.
pleasure
Thank
for
you,
us.
Zoom. Be
Yeah.
well.
Thank you. Sei
Yeah.
gesund und stark.
Seid gesund. Gesund.
Yeah.
Die Echet.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody.
Thank you.
Uh,